Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Life here, and today I'm going to be talking all about Pokémon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokémon Let's Go Eevee, because there's one thing that has come to light which is not very good at all. It's come to light that motion controls will be absolutely mandatory for catching Pokémon in the game, and I do want to make clear that that's not the throwing action like that. That's not mandatory, that you've no doubt seen in the trailers and stuff like that, people going like that. Apparently you can just press a button to do the same thing, which is good. Which is really, really good, because especially if you're on the tube or something and you've got the Switch in your hand, you don't really want to be going like that, do you? But if you want to aim the shot, and presumably there's going to be a certain degree where you really have to aim the shot for one reason or another, you know, because the Pokemon's moving around, you have to use motion controls. You can't use a stick or anything, and it's baffling. Let me be clear, for me personally, playing the game, this isn't really an issue. You know, I'm used to using motion controls for aiming and stuff like that, so for me it's absolutely fine, but there are plenty of people out there for whom it's absolutely not fine. There are loads of people out there with disabilities or just limited movement in one regard, or we've seen, you know, comments on the site about this where people with shaky hands, you know, they can't keep sort of smooth movements going. They're going to be at an enormous disadvantage. I mean, you know, again, this could be very easily, you know, solved just by saying, okay, we'll turn it off and you can just use a stick, but there is no option to do that. It is absolutely required to do everything like that in terms of aiming with motion, and it's mad. We had this sort of thing with the Wii in regards to, you know, things like Super Mario Galaxy. You know, you had the motion controls to do the spin, you know, wah! But that was just a very short, sharp movement, and I imagine there were still some people who couldn't do it, but again, it's just very basic. It's basically just like a button press. However, in Pokemon Let's Go, this is precision movement, and that is a totally different kettle of fish. Now, a couple of you might know me and know that I've been an advocate for motion controls in Splatoon 2, and I've been saying you absolutely have to have motion controls in Splatoon 2 to be any good, and yes, I do believe that, and I still do. I've said it time and time before, but the fact is that you can turn it off, and if there are people with limited movement, they can still play and enjoy the game to its fullest without motion controls, and that's absolutely necessary. What the Pokemon Company are basically doing here is they're saying, I don't even know what they're saying here, to be honest, because it's such an odd decision. Why, you know, sort of shut off so many people that either don't want to use it or, more importantly, can't use it? I mean, all you need to do is just replace the movement with stick controls. It's really easy. From what I understand, you press a button first to get ready when you're in a menu, because you can do other things and stuff like that, and then you do the movement. So surely when you press A, you could then use the stick to move around, and it wouldn't be like it was moving around in the menus. I just don't get why it's even a thing. Honestly, it's genuinely really baffling, because surely they must know that there are people out there that either don't want to use motion controls or can't for whatever reason, and with a franchise as big as Pokemon, you can't really take that sort of risk. It just baffles me that they didn't even consider it, or if they did, they didn't consider it important enough to, you know, have the option to deactivate it. It's baffling. Obviously the games aren't out yet, and there's still a chance that it'll change later down the line, but even so, if it does stay like this, it's really, really disappointing. And I think it's, you know, I don't care how much it immerses, you know, you in the gameplay or anything like that, how immersive it is. You know, it may be that it's a brilliant way to control, but you've got to offer options when it comes to this sort of kind of specialist movement. It's basic. Even using the Pokeball controller, it's the same thing. I imagine it's still going to be movement, you know, motion-based controls for any kind of aiming, because it's basically the same controls, you know, sort of single button. In fact, it's two buttons, because you can click the stick in. So it's the same argument, and I just can't get my head around it. Also, that thing is ruddy expensive. Pokemon being such an enormous franchise, and especially for, you know, children who are just coming into it from Pokemon Go and stuff like that, to have such a specialist precision-based movement system just seems absolutely ludicrous. Again, you know, have it as an option, of course, even have it as the default perhaps, but don't have it so that you can't turn it off full stop. That just seems utter madness, and I'm really, really hoping that doesn't stay. But what do you think? Do you think we're overreacting, or do you think that it is a genuine concern and one that should be addressed? Let us know down there in the comments. Thank you so much for watching what was probably arguably a more serious video than usual, but this kind of thing does need to be addressed. If you like this video, then why don't you provide some options for that subscribe button, and be sure to check out nintendolife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye bye.